The Man Who Never Lied. In a peaceful village in Africa, there lived a man named Kojo. He was known far and wide for one special trait: he never told a lie. No matter the situation, Kojo always spoke the truth. People admired him, and children were taught to follow his example. One day, the village king heard about Kojo and found it hard to believe. No one can always tell the truth, he thought. Determined to test Kojo, the king sent his guards to bring him to the palace. When Kojo arrived, the king smirked and said, "Kojo, is it true that you never lie?" "Yes, Your Majesty," Kojo replied calmly. The king leaned forward. "Very well. I will test you. You must come to my palace tomorrow. But before you arrive, tell everyone where you are going." Kojo nodded and left. The next morning, as he was preparing to leave, a group of villagers gathered around him. "Kojo, where are you going?" they asked. Kojo thought for a moment, then replied, "I am going to the king's palace, if it is God's will." The villagers were puzzled. "What do you mean? You were just summoned. Surely you will go." Kojo smiled and repeated, "If it is God's will." Then he set off. However, unknown to Kojo, the king had ordered his guards to move the palace to another location overnight. The grand building had been dismantled and reassembled on the other side of the village. When Kojo arrived at the old palace grounds, he found nothing but an empty space. He turned around and walked back home. The next day, the king called him again. "Kojo, you lied. You told the villagers you were coming to my palace, but you never did." Kojo smiled and replied, "No, Your Majesty. I told them I would come if it was God's will." Clearly, it was not. The king was astonished. He laughed and said, "Indeed, you are a wise man. You have spoken the truth." From that day on, Kojo's reputation as the man who never lied spread even farther, and the king himself came to respect his wisdom.